Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Mi, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. Garp and Koby have an incredibly deep bond, and ever since Luffy helped Koby to escape from Alvida and become a Marine, Garp trained him so that Koby would grow up to become an incredibly great Marine. And during that time, they've spent a lot of time together. And during that time, Garp and Koby founded a wonderful and deep friendship. A friendship in which Garp may give his life to save Koby because of recent events in the One Piece manga. Events in which Koby is in danger, being held prisoner by one of the most powerful pirates in One Piece, Marshal D. Teach. So in today's video, we're going to talk about Garp and Koby, what Garp may do about Teach after he finds out that Koby was captured during his mission on Amazon Lily Island, and what the reasons might be why Teach captured Koby. But before we dive into the video, if you're new to the channel, or even if you watched a bunch of our videos, we'd be absolutely honored if you'd leave us a like, or even subscribe and maybe leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out and motivates us to make more content. And if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, consider sharing this or your favorite video with a friend. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So my friends, as we know, Garp is the mentor of both Koby and Helmeppo, and it's because of Garp that these two young men have become strong Marines, motivating them all the time to overcome their limits, although sometimes in an angry way. Garp has always seen that the two stay out of trouble and make sure that they're not relaxing, staying on them all the time to keep working harder and protecting them in times of need. If the two young men were to ever get out of control, he beats them up with his punches of love to make sure that they know their place, similar to what he did with Luffy. But Garp does not know or do this with ill intent. Even though he's quite stressed at times, he always looks for the good of the people around him. And it's because of these incredibly high standards that he's so strict with his students and with Luffy, because he wants them to be able to defend themselves. So his way of teaching is quite severe and rigorous, always trying to make them harder and working them to achieve their goals. For his part, Koby absolutely admires Garp. Although Garp may be brutal at times, Koby would not be where he is today without having had Garp's guidance. I mean, Garp is practically Koby's source of inspiration, and because of his past accomplishments, Garp has been known worldwide as the hero of the Marines, inside and out in the world. And because of the level of inspiration that Koby gets from Garp, he's wanted to become a great hero himself and to be recognized worldwide just like Garp, and to achieve a higher position within the Marines so that he is respected by everyone, not just within the Marines, but across the world. During the Battle of Marineford, Garp kept a close eye on Koby's actions, and even though it was difficult with so many events going on all at once, Garp was horrified and terrified when Koby shouted out to stop the conflict in Marineford during the Battle of the Best, being the only one to give the initiative and try to end this conflict that had no purpose anymore. Even Shanks, one of the four Yonko at the time, acknowledged this achievement of Koby, saying that he was incredibly brave, insisting on his convictions even if he had to overrule the orders of his superiors. And this character is very similar to Garp's, who, although being a Marine, at many times has disregarded orders from his superiors because he doesn't agree with certain things. For instance, when he was ordered to capture Luffy, but Garp practically ignored the order. Garp only really pretended to try and capture him, allowing Luffy and the Straw Hats to quietly escape from Water 7. So we can see that Koby and Garp both have a great deal in common when it comes to following their own desires and their own personal sense of justice. During chapter 1059 of One Piece, we discovered some of Koby's accomplishments, which caused him to be recognized within the Marines. And although it wasn't something very honorable for Koby, even more so we found out what his achievement had caused. During the Wano arc, while the Straw Hats and their allies were facing Kaido, Koby, along with the Marines, went to the Pirate Island, a place where the pirate base of Roxy Zebek once was. Upon arriving on Fulalead or Beehive Island, Koby comes across a pirate who had taken over this island for himself. Koby then confronts this pirate named Ochoku, also known as Wang Ji. It turned out that this pirate had also been a part of Zebek's crew, although he wasn't as prominent as, say, Kaido, Whitebeard, Big Mom, or even Shiki the Golden Lion. But nonetheless, he was still a very strong pirate for being part of this crew of legendary pirates. Now, we don't know how Koby ended up coming in to confront this person, but somehow Koby did manage to defeat him, and possibly even arrest him, which allowed Koby to get the title. Although it wasn't much, this title does show that he did something great. With the defeat of Ochoku, Koby obtained the title of Hero of Rocky Port. Obviously, Koby was very happy to have received this title and accolade, but up until recent events in the One Piece manga, Koby is now seeing the consequences of this seemingly heroic act. But when he managed to defeat Ochoku, the pirate island was free to be conquered by other pirates. Now, we don't know if the Marines remained protecting this island or left it unprotected, but however it went, Teach ended up taking it over and now dominates it. And now that Teach is the current inhabitant of this this very famous island during chapter 1059 of the One Piece manga. Teach reveals this to Koby, thanking him for helping him so easily conquer the island. Realizing the gravity of what had transpired after the Rocky Port incident, Koby then regrets that act that caused him to be recognized as a hero, because it also caused one of the most powerful pirates to conquer an immensely important territory. This very act could end up backfiring on Koby, and even within the Marines could cause people to become disappointed with him and even doubt his loyalty. But because of his action, Teach has become very interested in Koby, and even thanked him for helping him take the island from the pirates. During this chapter, Teach and Koby talked about the situation that they were now experiencing. Although they might have been on opposite sides, they did have the same goal at the moment, to capture Boa Hancock, which made them spend a good part of this chapter trying to convince each other and convince her to depetrify everyone she had turned to stone. But then Rayleigh appeared on Amazon Lily and fought alongside Boa Hancock, and it is just the presence of this legendary pirate that makes Koby and Teach retreat with both their crews, allowing Boa Hancock to still remain alive and safe. But during the escape from Amazon Lily, something unexpected happens. As we saw, all the Marines and Teach's pirates left the island. But at the end of the chapter, we see a Marine ship reporting the events that happened on Amazon Lily. And after the sailors disembark at Egghead Station, they give the information to their superiors that Captain Koby was kidnapped during the escape from the island. On the last page of the chapter, we see a newspaper with Koby's picture, and the narrator says that Captain Koby, the hero of the Rocky Port incident, had been kidnapped by Yonko Teach and his pirate crew. So at this point, Koby is in real danger. Now, we don't know what Teach's goal is regarding Koby, and even if he really considers him to be important within the Marines. So there might not be a reason for Teach to have captured him, unless there's some more deeper self-interest. Teach may have just captured Koby to try and get him to ally with him, just as former Admiral Aokiji did after losing the conflict against Akainu and deserting the Marines. But because he was responsible for helping him combine and take over an important island, Teach may think that Koby could be an ally himself with him and may be able to help him accomplish greater goals. But if this is the case, it's obvious that this isn't going to happen because Koby has strong convictions as a Marine. So if he doesn't join, Teach could easily end up threatening Koby's life and maybe even use him like bait to try to attract someone important. For instance, Luffy, who he may know is a great friend to Koby, of course being the one responsible for helping Koby to become a Marine in the first place. All the way back at the beginning of our story, we saw an impromptu scene in front of Marines that give Koby a chance to join them after showing a false hatred for Luffy in that moment. But getting back to Teach, it at least seems that Teach wants to get even more powerful devil fruits. Now, we don't know if he wants this power for himself or for one of the members of his crew, but it really wouldn't make sense overall for him to want the power of a fruit for himself, especially the animenomi that Hancock has. After all, he already possesses the most powerful paramecia and most powerful logia, at least according to his words, possessing the ability to swallow everything up into darkness and cause earthquakes with just a wave of his hand. Even Boa Hancock said that her fruit is based on the fact that the possessor has physical beauty. And it wouldn't make sense for Teach to want this power, since it would be practically useless in his hands. It takes people falling in love with the user of the animenomi's power to work. So it may just be possible that Teach wanted to take Hancock's life and then take the devil fruit that would appear right after she died, and then give it to a member of his crew that might fit the standards of that fruit better. But because we know Teach loves playing the long game, his goals may be something even greater and more sinister, and it may be to use Koby to get to Garp, one of the greatest Marines that has ever lived, being one of Roger's greatest rivals from the past. With his various conflicts against the Pirate King, conflicts in which Garp and Roger both admit that they could have easily both lost their lives in the battle because that was just really so intense, it really makes Garp a very special person in terms of history and in terms of possible knowledge. So if Teach could somehow lure Garp in and end up taking his life, that would make Teach's fame grow even greater. And even though Garp isn't the same person before, and his age has kind of weakened his strength a bit, he's still a major, well-known person in the world. So if Teach were to take him on and defeat him easily, this would be something that could be the reason why he took Koby, to be just a decoy for Teach's real plan to eventually come to fruition. But with all that said, friends, We'd love to know what you think about it. First off, why do you think Teach was there to get Hancock's power? Do you think it was really because he wanted to take it for himself or a crew member? Secondly, why do you think Teach is so interested in Koby? Does he see potential, or do you think he's using Koby to get at other characters, namely Garp and possibly Luffy? And finally, what do you think the mystique is behind this beehive or Full-of-Lead Island, this island of pirates? I mean, sure, it is the place where Roxy Zebek had his crew, but do you think it has a greater significance in our story that we just haven't had revealed? Let us know what you think in the comments below. But with all that said, my friends, I want to thank you all so much for watching the video all the way up to the very end. Make sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like or hit that red subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. I hope to see you all in our next video, and let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.